So I thought I'd just go over the best of the best, the last best of the best tactics. They've also been tested in FC26. A lot of what you're going to see now will be prepared for FC26 as well. But I thought I'd go over them in FC25 as well. The last of the last, so the best of each formation variation. I know someone asked me to do this, and I wasn't going to do it, but I thought, you know what, why not? I suppose. So this would be the 5-3-2, which in my opinion is still a top 10 formation inside the game. In fact, I would say with the right players, look, you have left backs and right backs that can shoot, then this is the perfect place. If you have someone like Salah, that's for example gone to a right back through an evolution, this would be a perfect place to use them. But there's other cards you could use instead. So if you're playing this in FC26, although I can't talk about the beta, normally, historically speaking, you normally get those gold cards, and what happens is later on in the beta, sometimes they normally bring out some better cards. So if you're going to use this, maybe use this towards the end, but if you're using this at the start of FC26, for example, you can't get away with this. So this is more like an FC25. Otherwise, if you're going to be using this in FC26, I'd probably say something a bit conservative like this, and then having something like this will be more than fine. But if you're playing this in FC25, I think, especially with the players that you have with very high stamina at this stage of the game, we're talking about 99 stamina for most players that you're going to be facing. I think players that can go up and down the pitch a lot of the time, they will fare very well with this formation. I like it the most because you have two strikers, but you also have that 4-4-2 in your attacking. The way I like to look at this is you have the flying fullbacks that are like the left mid and right mid when you go forward, but also you have that CDM for stability. So think of this like attacking in a 4-4-2, but you have those CDMs. Yes, those left mid and right mids are not going to be inverted left mids and right mids. That's, of course, the risk you're going to have to take. In FC26, though, you can use inverted fullbacks, but we'll get on to that another day. But if you're in FC26, you can try that. But I would say most definitely you have that 4-4-2 layout with a CDM. So actually, effectively, it's kind of like a 4-5-1. And then when you defend, you do then have that 5-3-2 system. Now, of course, the only caveat with this system is you don't have that left mid and right mid defensive state. So you're going to be defending in the central areas. So if you're talking about trying to defend those Travellas or those finesse shots or those tiki-taka plays, then this could be the system for you. But this does mean that you'll have to manually bring out, for example, your right center mid, and you have to move your right center mid over to the right-hand side and manually defend the area. So let's say your opponent has the ball down this area. You might have to move this player to go and apply pressure, or maybe to defend to avoid two players doubling up and someone overlapping on the outside. But if you're asking me, I think it's pretty much complete because you have the CDM. I think this CDM, if you want to make this even more attacking, you can even potentially go for something like this. I wouldn't go with roaming. You want these guys to stay in position, in possession. I will go with a CDM build-up. They sit just high enough where they can help build the play from the back line, and there's not too much of a discrepancy. I think with this formation, people, they see the left back and right back, they go forward too quickly, and those players don't have the outlet option, or maybe they don't really know how to do those wide passes into the wide areas, whether that's a ping pass or a lob pass. The good thing with a CDM is you have that player that basically sits in between your opponent's strikers and your center mid, so he's in a good position to receive the ball and then get the ball moving forward. You can, of course, feel free to make this more attacking if you really, really want to. You can go with a playmaker, but I probably wouldn't advise that unless you really know what you're doing. The key benefit is you do have that CDM, so if you want to do experiment, even if you want to go even more attacking, you can do without the risk. So let's say you like playing the let's say you're sitting and you're like, you know, I've always liked the 4-4-2, but maybe I don't use my left mids and right mids as much. I like to go a bit more centrally. You can use something like this and not have to worry because you still have a CDM that can A, defend and will hold the line, and B, your left back and right back will come back. At this stage of the game with 99 sprint speed, 99 acceleration, 99 defensive awareness and stamina, they're going to be coming back in time. So ideally go with a plus here if you have those players. Try not to just go with a regular one. That's one thing I'd say it won't work as well. Ideally go for plus minimum, but you really want a plus. For the two strikers, I've gone with advanced forward and poacher. I always go, especially in a two striker system, I never go with two same systems, because if you have two players doing the same movement, I feel like they're offering the same thing. I want someone to run in behind and maybe someone to back up into a striker, for example. I don't want both of them running in behind because I've got no one to pass the ball to. So I always mix it up with one advanced forward, one poacher. If you ask me, generally speaking, I don't think I've ever used support that much, apart from a few times. I don't want to use complete because that pushes them out to the wider area. So I either want to attack for both, and the left mid and right mid, as I mentioned, attacking wing backs. You can, of course, If you really want to, you can even experiment with just regular wing backs. If you are going to be using this in FC26, you can try this with wing backs. I've tried it as well. It does work. CDM, perfect. And again, you can even use a sister formation, this which would be the 5-2-1-2. Maybe we'll save that for another video, but you can do that as well. And left back, right back, center back, make sure these are all on defend. There is wide backs in FC26 that they basically play, I would say, like hybrid roles. So the best way I can probably describe a wide back is being, it's not a right back. They're not going to fill into that right back all the way, but they kind of split up a bit more. That way, when you're in possession, you have that player to go back to do those 1-2s back as well. So they're a bit more pronounced in the wider areas, but they're not effectively left backs and right backs. So you don't have to worry about getting done in the half spaces or getting done internally out of possession as well. And that'll be it. So the most important thing is you got to play counter attack. That's probably the way to go to. And this is the only formation where I would not recommend high. I know high is the meta in FC25. I explained to you in the yesterday's video in the 4-4-1-1 or whenever it was 2 days ago that you want to be going towards a balanced approach as you near towards FC26, because high might not be effective in FC26 and it could be an absolute mess. So what I would recommend is I would definitely recommend balanced. And while on that topic, I'll take this opportunity to say that if you want to come join my newsletter for FC26, if you want this short content, listen, I'm not going to be sending you paragraphs, emails. No one reads it. I subscribe to newsletters all the time. It's always 10,000 paragraphs. Who's going to be reading that nonsense? But if you just want quick snippets, early formations, early tactics, things that I'm testing I don't release on my YouTube channel, or tactics codes before they even come out, so codes like this one over here before they even get released, subscribe to my Substack or my newsletter per se. Always unsubscribe if you don't like it, to be honest. Free country, I suppose, at the end of the day. Completely free. Don't have to pay for anything. Don't worry. You just get some up-to-date information a bit earlier if you want that. And if you don't like it, you can always unsubscribe. Link will be down below in the description. And also don't forget, we are still making videos on my Patreon series. We got the Bryce vs Bashir live commentary of the analysis. We got real gameplays. I think, you know, these videos actually probably the best videos I think I've done. It's the real life examples that we use in FC, things that happen in real life that happen in FC that you could prevent. But we talk about things about one frame passing, which you probably don't know that much about. They didn't mention about it. The new first touch mechanic. So things with FC26 that you can prepare for and things that you can change and you should change before the game starts. If you want to get ahead of the game in FC26, link is down below in the description. You'll be surprised at how much a lot of the changes you make now will impact the next game. Anyway, that will be everything. That's the full tactics code if you want it. I would recommend a balanced approach. In most formations in FC25, I would say you can use high, but I would say in these kind of formations, the 3-5 backs, you're better off going with a balanced system. But because you have a CDM, you have that safety net. But because it's a narrow system out of possession, I don't think it's the best pressing formation per se. But that is everything. Link will be down below in the description for my Patreon and, of course, my newsletter. Free to join the newsletter, by the way. Just need your email address. And if you don't like it, you can just unsubscribe at any time. But links down below in the description. Early content, early FC26 content as well. Thanks for watching. Take it easy. Until next time. Peace.